Oh yeah, no, we have some blockheads right now in the automotive community, actually.
There's so many things nobody tells you about tuning, and for this reason, there's so much misconception, misunderstanding, and even miscommunication. And then the growth pace is seemingly slow. So, for the pilot episode, we're going to be touring the tuning facility of one of Nigeria's most forward thinking, hardcore petrol heads in the name of 40s Autowerks, and he's going to take us through everything it is that you need to know about the tuning culture in every part of the country. This, guys, is our star guest for today's podcast, and he is none other than 40s Autowerks, the daddy of all of the hardcore tune cars you can find in Nigeria. Hi, 40s. It's wonderful to see you again.
Nice to have you.
Yes, thank you very
Yep.
much. It's been what now, like a year, over a year?
Yeah.
Since we last met?
Yep. The last time you came to my place, yeah, we made a couple promises,
Yeah,
and I think we fulfilled a couple of them, though. Yeah.
which is actually awesome.
I know, right?
Yeah, that 335i we talked about.
Yep.
It's been recooked, and now
Exactly.
it's like all the beast that the 135i we thought was the
Exactly. I promised, and I think we held on to that promise, and I think made it happen. And then not only that, I think we also changed location because I think I mentioned something about the evolution of the car, and hopefully, the next phase of where we are going to be at. So yes, so we held on to that.
He also got more cars.
Oh yeah, we did.
The things that have happened in the last 1 year for 14s is crazy.
Exactly.
We're going to share in bits all of those. So, for the sake of this being the pilot episode of the Ride with Me
Correct.
podcast, please reintroduce yourself.
All right, so yeah, nice to meet everyone. I am David. That's my first name. Popularly called 40s of 40s Autowerks. So 40s Autowerks is my establishment. It's something that I started way back 2019, and what you see here happened, I think, last year, June 2024. So yeah, so all of this is me, actually, my man cave. So welcome everybody. It's nice to be here in the pilot episode of the Ride with Me podcast. So good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, what is it exactly that you do for a living?
Okay. So well, this is not good one. Good question. This exactly is not what I do for a living. This whole 40s auto works thing, the cars, performance. No, I'm a pilot by profession. So I'm a corporate pilot for an esteemed organization here in Lagos. So I work with them. So when I'm not working or when I'm not being a pilot, I am being 40. So that's like my alter ego, and yeah, the whole car thing, car saying and everything. Yes, that's me outside of being a pilot. Yeah. So
Okay. So, being a pilot, like, how does that influence 40s at 40?
oh, okay, good question. So well, there are a lot of factors that being a good pilot. I've been a pilot for close to 16 years. So I am currently a captain. So that's good. And one of the things that you have on your shoulder is a lot of responsibilities. And yeah, to achieve that responsibility, you have to have a couple traits. And one of that for me, and those who know me well and who are close to me know that I could be very proactive. So like you think of something, I'm already 10 steps ahead. I'm like, okay, what is this? How do we solve it? How do we get it done? If anything happens, what's your redundancy? So that's number two, having a backup, having to solve a problem with a backup. If this happens or if this fails, what do I do next? So a lot of these traits make me good at what I do on the side, because when you do this, one of our philosophies here at 40s Autoworks is just simple, reliable performance. That's it. So if a car has to perform, it has to be reliable while doing so. You can have 500 horsepower and then take it one pull and it breaks down. So what's the whole point of having that power when you can't put it down or the car can't even move from its current position? So yeah, that's one of two and of one of many that I currently have personally that helps me see to what we do here at 40s Auto Works here, and comparison being a pilot. Yeah.
Okay, so what are the most common performance modifications that people request?
Well, the most common one that we have is our ECU remap services. It's very popular. People like to do stage one remaps and or stage one tuning, as they call that here. That's the top of the list of the services that we offer. A couple ones are the, you know, bolt-ons. That's what I call them. So you come in for a bolt-on performance. That's, you know, you pick up parts and add, take out the old parts, and then modify the tune or remap the car based on those parts. So that's second on the list. The third ones now that actually that is now becoming so popular are exhaust services. Yeah, modifications that we do, or custom exhausts as I like to call them. We're getting good at it. We had the first one on the drift build here that we did a full system all the way from the downpipe all the way backwards. We did that ourselves. So we're improving. We're improving in our quality and the type of equipments that we have to add more services that would keep us independent of having to order some of these things that we get outside the country here. So we're able to do that here with the resources we have currently here in Nigeria. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, you mentioned ECU remapping,
Yes. Right.
which is, well, like we like to call it stage one.
Oh yeah. Everybody likes stage tuning. That's it.
Everybody
Yeah.
likes to refer to it
I
as
know,
stage
right?
two. Yeah, I think the people who I find the most interesting are people who commonly think that an exhaust modification is a stage one.
Oh yeah, the popular guys. There's a brand of yeah, that's so popular in social media with the loud exhaust. And shout out to that brand. You know, I love you guys. I love.
Lexus.
Oh yeah, the Lexus. Well,
Lexus,
it's
I
not
mean,
only them, the Mercedes and some BMW, but I know they are top of that list. Like I said, shout out to them. They're amazing guys because one of the things people do not understand is sooner or later when you go to the mic, I like saying things like this because people like you would popularly say I'm weak. Yeah, like here you go market, see see clothes way past your own. So that is just it, and that's what the saying and one of the services that we offer is doing now. And like I say, the side effect I see what Fortis Autoworks does as a catalyst. If you think a loud exhaust is performance, you will see a car blow by you with our parts, with our performance parts, with our tuning, with what we offer. And then you ask yourself, what the hell is going on? My car is loud, it's supposed to be faster, but it's not.
I mean, we saw a lot of this at the Autofest.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. That our all our cars that came out of this shop. Oh no, they were bunkers. They were top of the list. So loud doesn't necessarily mean fast, and I love what we do because it is desensitizing the society, desensitizing the whole community. So and I love, like I would say, shout out to the Lexus boys because a lot of them are now seeing the light, and they are now transitioning to much better parts into their cars, even the so-called Lexuses that are allowed.
Exactly,
Yeah,
we're paying attention
yeah,
to
they're now doing things proper, which is good.
which is
And
what we wanted from the onset.
so forget all the banter. I'm not a fan of it. I know it's there. It's good. It's good for the society. It's good for the community
My friends
actually.
gets boring and quiet sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah.
So, average.
So exactly, loud doesn't necessarily mean fast. And you know, if you have nice body kits on your car and you know think your car is fast, unfortunately, that's not the way to go. What we try to pursue here is to make sure people understand what performance of a vehicle is. So you're not only going fast, or you're not only making the car faster, but at the same time you're also making sure that the car is healthy. So it's a two-way street. You know, whilst your car is fast, you're also being at the top of your maintenance because you go to the gym, you work out your upper body, and your legs look like toothpick. That's not a good look. First, physically, and then secondly, you think because you have a bulky upper body and you want to mess with somebody, and they kick you on your leg. I'm sorry we don't support violence here. And then what happens? Because your legs are so weak, they won't support your upper body, and then you fall down. It's the same concept with these cars. You might have a big engine, you might have all the mods you can throw in. If you're supporting mods or maintenance is bad, trust me, that car isn't going anywhere. It will pull once, and then that's the end.
It will break.
Yeah.
It will break. Okay, so still on ECU remapping, can you like briefly explain what that actually entails?
Okay.
For the sake of those.
All right. So let's start generally with what is an ECU remap. Okay. First of all, an ECU remap is software modification of the base file that comes in your car. This base file is actually responsible for starting the car, making sure the fuel is okay, there's enough fuel going into the engine, there's enough air entering the engine, and once the fourth circle of combustion takes place, intake, compression, power, exhaust. Once that happens, you make sure that, okay, fine, this is done seamlessly and at a balanced rate or at a balanced air fuel ratio. So that is the basic of what an ECU remap is. We alter certain parameters in the engine to make sure everything is balanced. So look at this as a 4-point trapezoid. So you have intake, you have fuel, you have air, and you have the exhaust part of it. So if you increase a certain portion of this part, you have to make sure everything is balanced out. So that is what a proper good ECU remap does to the car. So basically, you are just changing factory settings to get the best out of the performance of the car. That's it. Yeah.
Simply put.
Yeah, that's as simple and as intechnical as I'll get on that part. All right, so.
Yeah. So, yes, this is actually a very good one.
Okay, looking forward to it.
Yeah.
All right.
So, are there any potential risks that are associated with tuning?
Oh, of course. Oh, of course, of course, of course. Every remap that goes into a car is a potential problem. So yes, I'll be very honest with you. What makes us stand out is because we take our time to understand what we're putting into a car. And from your previous question where you asked, okay, what threats as a pilot do I share when I do this? And that's to tell you the level of seriousness. I take very little things, so I take it pretty serious. If I don't know something, I don't dabble into it. So the first thing I did was learn basic tuning. I'm self-taught to a certain degree. I know how to use certain softwares and understand basic mapping of cars. Advanced mapping, yes, we're there yet, but not specific because we're not specific to we're not diversified like the Mercedes and all that. We're specific to my own personal cars. When I started this and when I was learning it, just to give you an understanding of what happens when you do not understand fully what you're doing. So the 335, I think on the first time we met, I told you I changed I think 6 turbos, 3 gearboxes, I remember, and I think an engine, right? Yes. So those were doing that phase. A lot of people don't understand how expensive it is, especially when you dabble into things you don't know. So when I understood, basically I got to the point where I'm comfortable with it. And when we offer ECU remaps, the car goes through extensive testing before it is released. So now, word goes out there. Now, let me. This is a lot of people don't understand, and then the magnitude of the problem that I'm about to discuss. Yes, ECU remaps, pops and bangs. A lot of people think pops and bangs. So if your car pops and bangs or crackles, well, your car is tuned. And then what elates people, what makes them all happy and all that is the aggressiveness of the pops and bangs. Oh, they love it. Oh, this is crazy. This is an amazing tune. Your car spits fire. It pops, it bangs, it does all that nice, crazy noises. And you don't understand the long-term effect that has on your engine. Of course, pops and bangs are created out of heat because you have to adjust the timing of the engine to be able to do that, to cause the exhaust gases to stay longer in the exhaust chambers before letting them out. So that extreme temperature that you're getting, continuously popping and banging, has an effect on the engine. So what are we looking at? What effect? Is it the exhaust itself? No, it's the ring lands. They're the ones that are taking the beatings, the valve train, the conrods. They're the ones that will take the beating, and you're continuously doing this. And this leads you to understand the aggressiveness of some of the tunes or some of the remaps out there. So they do this without an understanding of, number one, the fuel required, where you are currently. We're at sea level, so good for us. So, but when you're at higher altitude where the air is less dense, it becomes a problem. So because you're getting less air and you're injecting more fuel to cause the car to run or give you that aggressive pops and bangs. Secondly, the octane rating of the fuel, how powerful it is to detect, because octane basically is the ability of fuel to, what's it called? No, not combust. The ability of fuel to detect knocking thereabout, if I dare say that actually. So now we have poor quality fuel, which is one of the problems we face in this country. and you're, let's treat it, let's call a spade a spade. Most people buy tunes from vendors and then flash it into people's cars without knowing what is inside. So that's basically what I'm trying to say. Know exactly what is in the tune before you put it in the car. We have a very good idea of what we put into people's cars. And one thing I can tell you is it is not at the fuel rating that some of these tunes or these tunes by vendors that they offer. And that's why you have people having problems with their cars. And then you're telling the vendor that, okay, please, I want your most aggressive setting just because you want to satisfy a customer who does not have an idea or an iota of what happens to his engine. All just because of some crazy ass, excuse my language, pops and bangs. And that is not tuning. That's not our philosophy here.
Okay, so these are very
Yeah, I addressed quite a lot there
yes,
because it
very
was
deep
something that was
into
pent up right there. I had to share it out. So a lot of people don't understand that ECU remappings, they have their downside, especially if you don't know what is going into your car. You stand a chance of blowing your engine. You stand a chance of having mechanical failures with the same engine, and then you're reducing the long-term reliability of your car.
Okay, so how can these issues be mitigated?
Yes, mitigated by knowing, first of all, you're having an ECU remap in your car. What type of fuel is being used? That's the
Yes,
first.
that's
That's the first one. And then what is the timing that they plan to throw at this car, especially at wide open throttle? Now, that is there. Number one, restrictions is if you're running an aggressive tune on a stock exhaust system, that can be a problem. So cooling, have you addressed basic maintenance? So not only that, but you're looking at even to some certain degrees operating your cooling system. So there is differently when I say upgrade. Upgrade means take it out and then put something bigger, better. Operating is mostly going a step higher than what is there.
okay.
So you might have to look into that to mitigate some of these problems. Okay, because if you're having a tune that is constantly causing misfires, then you're looking at maybe the fuel rating is not for this car. And you're throwing too much time in at the car, wide open throttle. And then most people, this is something I do not like. I see on social media, especially my friends up north, Abuja, Kano, and those guys. I see you redlining your cars, and you guys are happy and enjoying that, and you think it is good. And in the backdrop I get messages, oh, my car has an issue, I put a tune in it, and yes, the car is making a sound, I need you to remap the car. Sorry, we don't do that, because number one, you messed up. So don't say we fucked up. Sorry about that, you messed up. You're redlining this car, it is not good, and it's static, is generating heat, the car is not under load, and you're stressing the internals, and you expect the car to go that way without anything happening. Especially the NA guys, the Peugeot. I think I saw a post where a Peugeot was constantly redlining, and somebody was making a comment. I think it's a popular blogger or so online saying that if you can redline a Peugeot for 6 minutes, try redlining another car. Number one, that's a very stupid thing to say. I'm sorry if you find it offensive, but I mean it. You don't redline a car. That's it. Don't just do that. It's stupid. Yeah. So,
Very.
yeah, exactly. Go on.
This brings us to another part of tuning and performance.
Okay.
People just tune their cars, add bolt-ons, like you said,
Yeah.
throw out the old parts, and then put in new ones. But is this just in terms of the engine and transmission, or does this also go into, say, suspension?
Okay, good. Yes, we started a service earlier this last year where we had bolt-on parts and then gave the equivalent power upgrades that they have.
Okay.
So bolt-on parts, like I said, like you said, remove and replace, and also I buttressed that earlier on. That's what these are. So take for example, let's use a typical, let's say a BMW N54 that has twin turbos and an intercooler, a plastic charge pipe. Basically, these parts, you remove them, add an upgraded part to increase horsepower. So this can stem from removing your intakes, removing your intercooler or charge coolers or your auxiliary radiators. Those do not necessarily add power, but because they offer better cooling, the car can sustain boost longer. So thus leading to, of course, higher horsepower. So these bolt-on parts they're pretty good. They're pretty stout if bought from a reliable brand, and they're a staple that we go on. No, they're bolt-on parts that can yield amazing power. We have currently in the store an M4 that is going for a 700 horsepower package. 700 horsepower is not wheel HP, so please let's get that correct. It's probably BHP, and then it will probably be lesser when it is done here because we don't have the octane rating to support um, um, the intended power goals, because that of course will be done on 93 octane and maybe probably E30. E30, by the way, is a 30% ethanol mix with 70% gasoline. So yeah, these bolt-on parts are potent engine wise, but usually going back to your question, we with I think Keiichi Tsuchiya said, what is power without control? You might have all that power and then not being able to control it. So suspension upgrades, brakes, better weight distribution. Maybe if you're using coilovers or adjustable arms, depending on which one you like for handling. So yes, it's a given. I would like most people who do power upgrades to do brake upgrades also. And number one, upgrade your brake lines if possible, because that allows the car to sustain better braking over time, and possibly maybe go higher on your brake fluids. If you're a dot 4, you can do a dot 5 or a dot 3, so long as it's recommended by the manufacturer as a standard upgrade that you can do. So yes, I am a stout supporter of not only power, but at least do the brakes and suspension to actually mitigate any unforeseen weight transfer. Yeah, and transmission, yes, yes, that's also good because most transmissions are rated for certain Newton meters. So yeah, you want to look into that also. So we do have clients who have the basic powertrain drivetrain package that they're going for. So yes.
Awesome. You know, this that you just said now reminded me of when you were building the 135i.
Yeah.
And there was that pool. I think you took, let's say,
Yeah, on it. Yeah.
yes, and there was not enough brakes. And you were screaming, there are not enough.
I remembered. Okay.
That was wonderful.
That's well. To be honest, the 135 comes factory with Brembos. I think I didn't know how to use the brakes because yes, I think that was the first car we single turboed, if I remembered, and I didn't have any understanding of how the brakes worked at that time. So you really had to step on it.
How would you say that tuning,
Yeah.
or what effect would you say tuning has on fuel economy performance, especially
Okay.
in like older cars?
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. So okay, let's call a spade a spade. If you come and you want to tune your car, you probably want to go fast. So fuel economy sometimes yeah shouldn't be your problem,
Yeah.
especially with the guys with the big V8s and twin turbos or any V8s, twin turbo streets, inline sixes, four-cylinder turbos. Those can be efficient, by the way. Yeah. So, but we do offer an eco mode. Like people don't know about this, but we do. We do offer eco modes where we tune for economical fuel economy. Yeah, we do that. It might not be the best of settings, but people who come for that are very specific with what they want. So yeah, we do offer it. It's not a favorite for us here because it's like it's not our usual step on the gas. Yeah, but we do offer it. And but let me get something straight out there. A proper tune balances out every corner of concern the car has or comes with from factory. So a proper tune or a proper tuner is to look out for maps that balances out. So if you're throwing fuel at a certain cell of your fuel map, you want to make sure your AFRs are bang on, either mid throttle or at wide open throttle, so that yeah. In layman's term, okay, when you're at higher RPM or at mid RPM, so you want to make sure your AFRs are balanced. So what do we mean AFRs? Air to fuel ratio. A car that is running rich is a telltale sign of burning too much fuel, and the car that is running lean is a car that has very little fuel. So the amount of air entering the engine is probably constant. You cannot really change that much. If you want to change that, of course, you're looking at the science behind increasing the intake or getting a supercharger or forced induction to force more air into the engine. So, but in this particular scenario, a proper tune should mitigate against inconsistent AFRs or inconsistent air to fuel ratio. That air to fuel ratio must be balanced. So, what are we talking about? So, this is more like stoichiometry, lean of the lean side of peak and the rich side of peak. That is what you're targeting as a good tuner or a good mapper. I don't know book that much. It's just what you do. Okay. All right.
Okay. Nothing you said about tuning for fuel
Yes.
efficiency, right? Do you offer a service where you can tune for fuel efficiency, moderate, like it's like eco, normal, and like bunkers?
Okay. Yeah. Well, like I said, a good map is specific. Yeah. So if you're looking at a stock car and okay, my fuel economy is high or my fuel economy is too much, the car is consuming too much fuel, I wouldn't tune your car. No. Why do I say that? Because if your car is burning too much fuel, then there is probably an underlying problem with the car because that's not how it came from factory. So it might be fouled O2 sensors, it might be bad plugs, it might be clogged injectors, it might be a bad catalytic converter. So there are a lot of myriad of things that you have to look in. So start from the basics, that's what we do, and check your way up and then see what the problem is. If you notice that, yes, there is a problem, trust me, sometimes it's heavy footers. You step on your car too much, you don't have highway efficiency, you don't have city driving efficiency. It's your right foot actually. So and the cars adapt what do you call adaptation? You just need to reset the throttle adaptations and then allow the car to learn a new driving style, and your fuel economy should come down. But if we are to tune for specific fuel, I like to be on the rich side of peak. That's pretty much where I like to be balanced at. So meaning the car doesn't burn too much fuel, and it doesn't take a lot more fuel. It is balanced at that point. So it might mean a lot more than normal, but it is good for the engine because more fuel actually helps cool the engine. Yeah. So that's where I like to be. I won't call it specific. I would just call it rounding out the corners. That's it.
I have another very interesting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I hope it's not. If it's one of those banter questions, I'm happy to answer because yes, there's a lot of pent up energy that I need to let go of. So let it go.
We're going to come down.
All right. All right.
Let's tone it down a bit.
Okay.
So this one is actually about modern cars. Now, I don't know if I should if the term to use is simplicity or complexity.
Okay.
But there's just something about modern cars, and I want to understand: is this thing about them, or what is it about these cars that affects you?
Oh yeah.
They're too simple, or is it that they're too complex?
Oh.
I don't understand.
First of all, modern cars have become. Every manufacturer out there is going against, people tinkering with their mappings because number one, the world's emission standards have become very stringent. So most times manufacturers are trying to, they do what we call anti-tuning or encrypting their ECUs from people to have access to them. So the more modern the car, the more difficult it is to tune. So the older cars are usually nicer because we've probably found solutions to tuning these ones pretty much. So yeah, they are much newer cars are much complex to tune. Yeah, there's a lot. You first of all have to unlock the ECU if there is an anti-tuning, and there are special equipments that are needed for that.
This next question.
Stop giving me
Depending on
suspense.
how you answer it,
We
it
need
may
to.
be cookery or politery.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
I try to be. This is no man's land. So, but today I'll make an exception.
I want cookery.
Okay. Yeah. Go on.
Cool.
Bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on.
Exactly.
We're ready.
So, the way, in fact, you don't even know. There are, because the question actually says are there. But
Okay.
I'm going to rephrase it.
All right.
I say there are a lot of misconceptions, especially
Okay.
about Nigerian drivers, Nigerians, about performance.
Okay.
So, how do you deal with these things?
Oh yeah. No. We have some blockheads right now in the automotive community. Actually, forgive me for saying that. So
And you don't cook and apologize.
no. When I say this because I am I am one of those blockheads to a certain degree. but we have more blockheads than I do actually that I consider. These ones are at a higher level. So first of all, you cannot feel that a car is fast and then say your car is 600 horsepower, 700 horsepower, 800 horsepower. My brother, how do you know that your car is 650 horsepower? Because somebody told you so, or because the remapper or the person you buy your so-called tunes, your aggressive, flashy, flame-spitting tunes, tells you this car is 700 horsepower? Most of these remaps are tested in a controlled environment where the parameters that you get are ideal for that particular power level that you're getting. So when you come to an environment where it is dynamic, you're getting environmental changes, you're getting fuel changes, you're getting pressure changes, you're getting the air density changes. So why would you now say that car makes 700 horsepower? It doesn't make 700 horsepower. Your ass dyno is wrong. Your face dyno is wrong. Your tire smoke dyno is also wrong. It doesn't work that way. Until we have a dyno in the country, please stop saying that. If I quote horsepower numbers, it is because it is tested for that ideal situation. Is it always the same? No, it's not. Please take out even 150, 200 horsepower of that number because you don't have the fuel and the octane rating to sustain it. You don't. So please, let's get our minds and acts straight and drop that misconception. It doesn't work that way. So please, tuning is not a magic. Because you put a stage 2 tune on your car does not bump it up to this. You're on stock turbos, for God's sake, and you expect the car to make 300 or 200 horsepower, and you can be a learned individual and then say that you're a blockhead. Sorry. Yeah. So that is one of those moments. I'm sorry. So please, guys, up north here in Lagos, myself inclusive, calm down. Until we have a dyno in the country, please keep those horsepower numbers down. It's not that way. There is no 1,000 horsepower BMW X5M in the country. There is no 900 horsepower drift car, 800 horsepower M5. No French way. We don't have to feel for that. And your aggressive, flashy tune is not a lanyard for you to call that the car is fast. If you think it is fast, let's get a quarter mile and let's test it. Where are the draggy numbers? Where are your VMAX numbers? Let's see. So that I'm speaking, I used to chase draggy numbers before, but then it was dangerous. When I spun out because I was chasing 100 to 200, it's not worth it. Let's get a dyno. So all these cars that we remap, I have told my customers that when we do have that opportunity, all your cars are coming back and we're testing them proper. Yeah.
Awesome. So there's another category of blockheads
Yeah.
that I think we're leaving out. The category of people who think that just because a car has a loud straight pipe, a car has a turbocharger stuck in it. Or in it. That's one. And the people who scream these big ass numbers in horsepower, when you actually ask them, they never tell you where this horsepower is from. The wheels, is it from the brakes, is it from the crank?
Good.
So, exactly. So how then do you deal with people?
I have a very good friend of mine I met on social media and then finally met him in person. A lot of people don't understand his banters, and sometimes it's him just being him. And Renegade, shout out to you. I love you so much, really. You are one guy that is bold enough to say certain things how they are.
Yeah.
And I'll take a line off Renegade's line. And how now? How now, for God's sake? You straight pipe a car. Science behind it says the car is free flowing. But there are things called back pressure. There are things called scavenging effect. Back pressure is bad for the flow of exhaust gases. It's bad for power. Scavenging effect is good because it allows each exhaust gas to pull the next one out. And there is a science behind that. You start messing with the diameter of your pipe, putting a 3-inch pipe in your car that came from factory with a 2.75-inch exhaust or even a 2-inch exhaust. It is designed to aid scavenging effect. You change that diameter of it and you tune the car, and it's not tuned properly for that diameter of pipe. You kill scavenging effect, and then you start getting a lot of back pressure. So your loud exhaust doesn't necessarily mean you have power. You're robbing the engine of power. So there's a science behind it. I do exhaust for people. I don't like to mess with factory exhaust diameters. No. So what came with your car is what we put. Secondly, you know, having an overly aggressive remap and then attaching that to a very loud exhaust. Please, I want us to compare. So there is a banter going on with Lagos, Abuja, Lagos versus the whole world, Abuja versus the whole world. We don't really care about that. We care with science and facts. If you feel your so-called misconception is valid, let's test. I want us to test. If you want to call me out, call me out. If you want to call out our client's car, please do. We will provide you a client, a location, his car, even my cars if you wish. I won't call and tell you that my car is misfiring. Please, I won't call and tell you that my car has issues. We will be there. So yes. So that's you see, that's another level of blockheadism I'm actually referring to. So go on.
Okay. Okay.
Let's tone it down a bit. Oh yeah, I thought you wanted action. Let's
No, I
go.
want to
Really?
come into action.
Okay, okay,
Come into
okay,
action.
okay.
This one is more about the problems
All right.
you mentioned earlier.
Mhm.
I know that there are definitely unique challenges that we face, especially with tuning in
Yes,
Nigeria.
yes.
And I mean, this stems from problems like quality of our fuel,
Exactly.
quality of our roads, quality
Exactly.
of our drivers,
Exactly.
the car owners
Mhm.
themselves, and even um, economic factors. I mean,
True. True.
exchange
People,
rate.
yeah, yeah, buying
There's
the
also
proper parts. Yes.
awareness.
No way.
So how then do you tackle these?
Okay. Like I said 40s Autoworks serves as a catalyst. We are not where we want to be, but we're pretty much higher up where we tend to want to have an influence that will change people's misconception of some of the things that we discussed earlier on. So these challenges, like you rightfully said, are valid. There are things that we suffer, and these challenges, until we have a working system, before this can be tackled. If we use fuel as an example, I saw a post where people were saying the fuel that is gotten from MRS is a good fuel. It lasts, it burns well, it burns cleaner because of the new Dangote refinery that came out and showed the difference between bad quality fuel that we've been using for years as compared to a good quality fuel, which is clear in some cases, or free of additives and free of all those crazy stuff marketers put in there. So this is one of the challenges. We don't have a pretty good quality system that will mitigate against that. And this fuel gasoline is what we pour on these cars. And is it safe for them? No, it's not. That's why we tone some of the timings or some of the fuel demands we put on this car. We tone it down because number one, you don't even have the fuel power to actually gain or convert that to kinetic energy. That's it. You don't. So second thing, socioeconomic issues that we have, people's misconception, and then the finances. Most people would go with AliExpress or Alibaba because they cannot afford the real thing. Do I blame them? I was once like them, and the truth about it is, yes, some of the parts that we even buy are from eBay. I won't deny it, but then the whole point of it is, the best of the best is what you want to look for. Do I wear knockoffs? Yes, I do wear knockoffs. Hey, you think I'm wearing a Louis Vuitton? No, no freaking way. I bought this pants for maybe 8 to 9 thousand naira. It's doing the job. So yeah, I don't blame people that go for some, but then don't shove it down people's throat as being the real thing. It's not the real thing. It will never be the real thing. It will never be reliable. So exchange rates and people's purchasing power is also there too. So I really don't blame. What I would like people to know is save to buy the real thing. We do that also, and that keeps us safe. So please, these challenges are our problem: fuel, people's misconceptions, awareness, and the overall feel as to what we get. So that's a problem. So yeah.
Okay, so in essence, there's little to no control.
Well, we're hoping. We're hoping. I think the point is when we do have a dedicated environment, a track or motordome or motorsport environment where we can promote these things. I believe there will be a spike in everything. There'll be a spike in the level of cars. There'll be a spike in the type of performances we get. There'll be a spike in people's mindset. So that will change entirely once there is an avenue. Public roads are not it. I need an avenue for people that provides a safe, controlled environment for things to work. Once that is available, trust me, a lot of good things will happen. So I have faith in the populace. I have faith in the people that yes, this whole misconception, this whole mindset will change eventually. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Speaking of people,
Yeah.
you're allowed to cook.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Another one.
Yes. Maybe my final one.
Yeah.
How the answer goes.
Okay.
We have seen, should I call this a new generation of people who are looking towards tuning cars? I mean, you see somebody who just makes a video on social media and says, "Oh, I tuned this car."
Yeah.
I doubt this.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Just like you mentioned earlier. Do you have any word for people like this?
Okay. Shout out to the word tuners, TOONER. You guys are doing a good job at making me look good at what I do. I thank you for it. I'm not trying to be cocky here, but the truth about it is the stories get to me and people complain. And the first thing I say is please take your car back to that person, have whatever file or whatever rubbish they put in the car removed. And then we'll do an inspection, compression, leak down test, make sure the car is healthy. And then if it is, let's have a fresh baseline to start from. People like this, you're doing harm to the business, you're doing harm to our name, you're doing harm to the movement, you're killing the misconceptions and you're killing the mindset of people and further fueling the misconceptions that people have towards modifying their cars. You think pops, bangs, flames, all those things are nice on a car. They're not. Please understand what they are. Cars that shoot flame should be under diesel, under proper load, and the car is breathing properly. That's allowed. A nice fire speeding turbocharged car can do that. But then having this forced all the time just because you want to prove that you have a bigger man side than others, it's stupid, really. So please stop doing stupid shit. Do it the right way. The ocean is big. The number of fishes is big. If for those who want to understand that, our job is to collectively desensitize the environment and desensitize the community. So stop doing stupid shit on people's cars. Because I'm getting reports of people blowing up their cars in Abuja just because somebody put a flasher tune. Yes, it's your fault for taking your car to somebody who has little or no idea of what he's putting into your car, to a tuner. Yeah, in Abuja, in Lagos, in Kano, Kaduna, all of that. You guys are springing up everywhere, buying this flashing devices, chaos, auto tuner and all that, and then speaking to somebody from thousands of miles away, and then putting a tune on a car in Nigeria where your fuel is you won't even want to put it on they won't even want to put it on their cars rather than you having it here. And then so please have sense.
Okay, for context, you mentioned stupid. Is this stupid the TO or the TU?
No, let's enjoy both.
Okay. Okay.
It's been interesting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You want me to say something to the guys? All right. Okay, so please, I know it's a favorite, and I want to hope that Ride with Me's podcast, is something that would continue, and we need this in the automotive environment right now, because this should create a different mindset, a different view, a different perspective, towards what is currently happening. Aside the journalism here involved, it's something that we should understand that is good. Yes, there is all this banter, there is all this talk, but please understand that the reliability of your car in any form, be it modified or stock, should take precedence. Being a good driver, being cautious of other road users is something that we preach every day. So please be safe out there. I know you guys go for a drive and you do stupid things on the road, but please understand that these are public roads. So please put other road users into consideration. You don't have a racing license. You weren't born with one. You're not a Michael Schumacher. You're not this. You're not the best driver out there. Your car can do stupid shit to you. You don't even have any idea. So please, let's be safe out there. That's what I would like to end this out. Let's be really safe. I know the whole motorsport season has come to an end. Everybody's kind of like relaxed, but please be safe out there. Don't do stupid shit on the road. Please consider other road users. And I want to say thank you, Dion, for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome to our place, and please know that you're always welcome anytime over at 40's Autowerks. Yeah, and everybody out there, please. I, I'm a pilot doesn't mean I don't want to get I don't want to suffer. Please bring your cars for proper performance mods. We like your urgent 2K. It means a lot to us. Thank you.
So bringing your cars to 40's Autowerks. Remember the keywords here are safe and reliable. That
Yeah.
also should apply to you out there on the roads. Just like I mentioned
And
earlier.
performance,
safe,
yeah.
Yes, safe performance.
Yeah.
But yes, please be safe on the roads. We will get to the point where we all get bored. I mean, motorsports in Nigeria is on hold till maybe like November.
Yeah.
I think we will get bored. So please, while you are trying to be,
Yeah. Yeah. Just be safe. Please.
Be careful.
Thank you.
And yes, thank you very much for sticking with us up until this extent. I mean, it's the pilot episode, and I really am glad that I chose 40s to be
Thank
our
you.
pilot guest.
Thank you so much.
I'm very excited, and I can't wait to, hear your thoughts in the comments. So if you've liked this so far, please give us a thumbs up, share this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel because we've got more coming. In fact, we're going to be having more other interesting guests and more podcast episodes coming up in the next couple of weeks. But, as it always goes, this is where we have to part ways for this episode. I am Ride with Me, and I remain your host. See you next time, same time.